Hey out there, admins, how we doing? Coming from you in the backyard today. We've had such nice weather lately. Hey, I'm reaching out to all the lodges to go over some fairly important information that's come out, and in this email, I will include a couple of items, attachments as well. Um, One is to start with is the new capital project that Moose International put out, and you may have heard it mentioned back at convention, and the state officers got together, and we got the spreadsheet going again for lodges to track their capital projects. For those who do not know, the capital project is this year is going to be the AAA project down at Moose Haven, which AAA stands for Always Active at Moose Haven. It's a little different than in the past, and it's kind of hard for me to remember that one. Basically, though, for anybody that's ever been to Moose Haven before and been down to the activity center, they are looking at replacing that building. That building was originally a residential home and not an activity center. They've had trouble over the years with the leaking roof over the pool and a few different things, so they're going to get a new activity center. The way that breaks down, same thing it has in the past years. If you've been around long enough to know the Centennial Project, which was a building down there, the MAC project at Moose Heart. It's going to be based on a 3-year project. Each lodge is assessed $3 per member from April 30th of this past year. That's how you're going to figure out your total. Attached to this is the spreadsheet that shows you how much you're going to owe over the next 3 years, and you can use it to keep track of it. We'll send that out every once in a while to let lodges know where they're at on their giving. Let me remind you, though, in your giving, let's make this simple to understand. Let's say you had 500 members on April 30th of this past year. Your lodge total to give for the AAA project is $1,500, but again, that's over 3 years. What they want you to do is break that down per year, so that would be $500 per year over 3 years. That check can be written to Moose Charities as it normally is, but in the memo line, you want to make sure you put the AAA project in there so they know that you're getting earmarked for what you're giving it for. Also, what I suggest in a lot of lodges, and we've had trouble in the past with some lodges, not a big deal, but it hurts the lodge in a little bit when they're trying to get a Premier Lodge award. Some lodges go out and then try to pay all that money at one time, and we appreciate that. But what we want to remember is look at your Moose charity giving over the course of the year. What you don't want to do is hurt yourself next year trying to get a PLA. So say, for example, this year you're giving your endowment and your rocker funds, everything else you're giving, and then you go ahead and pay off all that this year, which is fantastic. It makes you look great this year, but then to get that plus $1 next year, or to hit the per capita average makes it much more difficult. So we suggest you either look at your overall giving for the year and how your lodge normally does that, and just so you don't hurt yourself at the end of the year. Also, normally if everybody's trying to figure out the per capita for a year, you get that in your all stats report. But the easiest way to do that is go back and look at what the per capita is for the year. And that changes every year based on a national average from the year before. And this year, forgive me, now that I'm talking about it, I can't remember exactly what it is. It's $6 and something. I want to say $6.80. Might be $6.50. I'm getting confused in my head about that amount. But what you want to do is take that amount and times it by how many members you have, and that'll figure out how much you should be giving about per month, and how much you should have given by the end of the year to reach that per capita average, or the $1 more overall than the year before. So that's going out. AAA project, you'll be hearing more about that. I'm sure we'll be hearing more about it at the fall convention in October from the Moose Charities chairperson. Second thing of 3 things we need to talk about. I am also putting a flyer in that we've heard mention of, and I've talked a little bit about in the past, is the Bourbon Trail getaway, which is a prize that the Indiana Moose Association is looking at giving away to help promote a couple things, and they have a couple projects that the association is really trying to help out with to promote on certain things. And this project, you have the flyer. This is for your bartenders and employees behind the bar in the social quarters. It is going to be based on 3 items. and there will be a lodge presented with this award in the South and one in the North. It's going to be based on overall increase in social quarter sales on average over the previous year. It's going to be the second item is going to be the decrease or percentage of cost of goods sold over the previous year, also in percentage-wise per lodge. And then preferred members overall percentage is going to be the three criteria that we're looking at. So naturally, you want to make sure you're charging the right price in your social quarters for your drinks. Something we always are looking at anyways is your cost of goods. We always want to keep that at 30% or lower if we can. So this is something we need to look at this year. You know, if you're trying to win this contest, and we should be doing this anyways, you know, looking at how we're pouring shots, and are we over pouring? Are we charging the right price for top dollar items, you know, that are top shelf liquors and import beers? Are we charging the right price for those? So those things matter. Also, the preferred member list, as we all should know, preferred member is someone who has sponsored a new member within the last year. And the average that we want lodges to be at is 7% of members making that list. And right now we're running pretty low. We're not even hitting 5% right now. Now, what we know and why we're promoting this project this way is because we know that a lot of administrators and bartenders kind of accidentally haphazardly walk into getting sponsorship sometimes because they're the bartender on duty when someone walks in, and they end up sponsoring them. But what we really want to look at is the situations where someone has brought a member or a prospective member and a qualified guest in the lodge, and then has done the time and effort to bring that person, talk to that person. And then when it comes to sponsoring, we don't want the bartender just to put their name on it because that member doesn't care whether their name goes on or not. What we're promoting is make sure that member that brought that new prospective member in is on that sponsorship, because we want to push them to understand they can get Moose rewards, you know, get free dues out of it by taking those sponsorships and not just giving them to the bartender. I mean, it's nice that we have these bartenders that are getting lifetime sponsorships or lifetime memberships because they're taking everybody that's coming in the lodge, whether they deserved it or not. Same thing with administrators. So we want to make sure we're spreading that around a little bit. So that's that contest. That contest will end at the end of this Moose year, which will be April 30th of next year. The trip will probably be sometime in the summertime, but those dates haven't been decided just yet. We will probably know those dates probably fairly soon, maybe in the fall. If not, you'll definitely know by mid-year of next year as the contest is wrapping up. But again, I've attached that flyer. Share that with your bartenders. Anybody that may have anything to do with the pricing in the social quarters, doing the beer and order liquoring. Again, because we've had this trouble in lodges before where we're ordering way too much liquor and then we're not selling it, and it sits there for a long time. Now, I understand that you get a deal sometimes when you buy by the case, and that's perfectly fine if it's something you're going to use on a regular basis. But there's no sense in ordering something expensive, top shelf, that's going to cost you a lot to order, and that case of liquor sits there for more than a year. It's ridiculous, and it's going to hurt your totals on this contest as well. And the very last thing that I have to talk about is another project that the association is doing. The association is helping with retention, and they would like to give an award to two different entities, the lodge and the district with the best retention. So the lodge next year that has the best retention at the end of the year, the Indiana Moose Association is going to come and do a cookout or some type of event at your lodge, and the IMA will be paying for that. So you can use that as a chance for a member appreciation, maybe use it as an open to the public day and get a dispensation, and we can look at getting new members that way. They're also going to do it for the district overall that has the best retention, and they're going to come to a district meeting, and same thing, they'll be doing a cookout for them, helping them maybe do a project that day, a fundraiser to promote membership and as a thank you for having the best retention. I kept it under 10 minutes. If you guys have any questions, contact your local territory manager. You all have a good day. Take care. Bye-bye.